Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg. You know the names, you know the billions. But here's the twist. They're not the only ones shaping your life. And in some cases, they're not even the most important, because behind the headlines, behind the Forbes list, there's a network of ultra-wealthy individuals who don't just appear on magazine covers. They write what's inside them. They don't want fame. They want leverage, narrative control, access, data, systems. This isn't a list of the richest. This is a map of who actually matters. Some will disturb you, some you've never heard of, and all of them already have a hand in your future. Let's begin. Elon Musk, the man who's not building companies, he's building systems. Electric, orbital, neural, linguistic. Tesla redefined mobility. SpaceX redefined exploration. Starlink is reshaping connectivity. Neuralink aims to connect human minds to machines. And X is becoming a digital megaphone. Musk doesn't think in quarters, he thinks in centuries. He's building a new layer of civilization, faster than most governments can respond. He doesn't just make products, he sets the rules for the future. Love him or hate him, Musk isn't just part of what's next, he's designing it. Next, Jeff Bezos, the man who turned a bookstore into an empire and then disappeared into the infrastructure. Amazon isn't a website, it's a global operating system for consumption. And behind the Buy Now button, warehouses, robots, algorithms, and data. Bezos didn't stop with e-commerce. He built AWS, the cloud that powers governments, startups, and your favorite apps. Then added Alexa, the voice inside millions of homes. He's not loud, he's surgical. And Blue Origin proves he's not done pushing Earth's boundaries. Now, Mark Zuckerberg, the man who redefined how the world connects and monetized it all. Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Threads, 3 billion users, one ecosystem. Zuckerberg controls what people see, what they share, and increasingly, how they live. The metaverse isn't just a buzzword, it's his next reality. One where he owns the code, the platform, and possibly the future. If Meta succeeds, Zuck won't just own your feed, he'll own the environment you live in. Then there's Bernard Arnault. Not flashy, not loud, but he's the richest man on earth, and he controls culture through luxury. Louis Vuitton, Dior, Hennessy, Fendi, Tiffany. Arnault doesn't sell products. He sells desire, identity, belonging. While others dominate tech, he dominates aspiration. He defines what elegance, status, and success look like. And finally, Bill Gates. From Microsoft to medicine, from software to global health. The Gates Foundation funds vaccines, education, sanitation, agriculture, at scale. He doesn't hold office, but his influence touches millions of lives and shapes entire continents. To some, he's a savior. To others, a shadow behind the system. But no one can deny this. Gates turned wealth into direction, and when he moves, the world shifts. Let's keep going. Now, let's talk about the billionaires who don't want to be famous. They're not trending, they're not on stage, but they control more of your life than you realize. Let's start with Larry Page and Sergey Brin, the creators of Google. Not just a company born in an oracle. They didn't just build a search engine, they built a global brain. You type a question, their system answers. You search for truth, their algorithm decides what shows up. Google is everywhere. Search, YouTube, Gmail, Maps, Android. Page and Brin stepped down from public leadership, but their creation didn't stop. It got smarter, faster, more embedded in your daily reality. They don't speak often, but every time you type, they speak through results. Next, Warren Buffett, the Oracle of Omaha. No rockets, no platforms, no hype, just power, quietly compounding. Through Berkshire Hathaway, Buffett owns pieces of the real world. Railroads, insurance, energy, finance. His strength, patience, clarity, long-term vision. Buffett doesn't need headlines. He moves markets from the shadows. He's proof that real influence doesn't shout. Now let's shift to India. Mukesh Ambani, You may not know his name, but over 1 billion people use his services. Through Reliance and Jio, Ambani changed India forever. He made internet cheap and universal. Suddenly, rural communities went online. Commerce exploded. The digital divide shrank. Ambani didn't follow Silicon Valley. He built something different, something massive, something cultural. He didn't just make billions. He helped rewrite the economic structure of a continent. And then, the ghost in the machine, Steve Jobs, he's gone, but he's everywhere. In your pocket, on your desk, in your ears. Apple wasn't just innovation, it was emotion, design, obsession with the experience. Jobs didn't just create devices, he created behavior, swipe, tap, scroll. He made technology feel human. And Apple still runs on his DNA. He didn't leave a company, he left a philosophy. And finally in this block, Jack Ma, the man who made Alibaba into a titan, who turned China's e-commerce into a global force. He was loud, he was bold, he challenged systems, until he disappeared. After criticizing the Chinese financial sector, Jack Ma vanished. No press, no appearances, silence. He came back, but quieter, diminished. His story is more than a rise and fall. It's a warning. Even billionaires must bow to power, especially in authoritarian regimes. Let's go deeper. Let's talk about the new kind of power, not political, not corporate, but personal. Power that moves people in real time. Let's start with Mr. Beast. He doesn't run a tech company, he runs an audience. Hundreds of millions tune in to watch Jimmy Donaldson give away money, change lives, feed thousands, cure blindness. He didn't get power through policy, he got it through platforms. And now he may be the most human billionaire alive. One video at a time, he's reshaping what influence looks like. Not with speeches, but with actions. Next, the darker side, the billionaire who funds a war. Not every fortune is used to build. Some are used to break. Throughout history, wealth has fueled revolutions, coups, invasions. Today, it's no different. Some of the richest people on earth move money. That moves armies. They don't wear uniforms, they don't hold guns, but they write the checks that make things burn. It's power with no face, no flag, just outcomes. And while the world argues online, they keep playing chess with real lives on the board. Now let's talk about philanthropy, but not the smiling ribbon-cutting kind, the kind that shapes policy, that funds agendas, that shifts global priorities, quietly. Some billionaire foundations have more money than nations. They decide what gets cured, what gets taught, what gets prioritized. Charity becomes direction. Donations become control. It looks like generosity, but sometimes it's strategy, and we rarely get to see behind the curtain. Next, media. Because the most powerful billionaires don't just fund stories. They own the storytellers. From newspapers to news networks, from streaming giants to social platforms. They shape what gets published, what trends, what disappears. They don't need to censor, they just choose what gets seen. That's not journalism. That's narrative control, and it's happening every single day. And finally in this block, the billionaires who buy democracies. Not with ballots, but with bank transfers, super PACs, digital ad networks, lobbying machines. In some countries, one billionaire can outspend 10 million voters. They don't just support candidates, they create them. They write the talking points. They design the platforms. They fund the victory speeches. And they do it legally because money moves faster than democracy, and it's rewriting the rules before you even know they changed. Let's go deeper. Now we reach the final layer, the questions no one's asking, and the ones billionaires won't answer. Let's begin. What do these people actually want? They have everything: money, control, status. So why keep going? Some want to escape, to Mars, to bunkers, to islands. Some want to reshape humanity, gene editing, digital identity, AI regulation. Others simply want to live forever, but they all want the same thing beneath it all: to build something bigger than themselves. legacy, immortality, control over time. This isn't about greed, it's about vision, or maybe obsession. Next, the illusion of choice. You think you're making decisions, but how many are already made for you? You scroll, guided by invisible hands. You search, through filters you didn't choose. You buy, based on suggestions, not needs. What feels like freedom is often a scripted experience. And the authors are the billionaires we've been talking about. It's not a conspiracy, it's optimization, and it's happening everywhere. Now the silent evolution of power, it no longer wears crowns, it doesn't give speeches, it doesn't command troops, it wears black t-shirts, hoodies, polished silence. It builds software, funds think tanks, owns data, and it wins because it doesn't look like power. It looks like progress, and we accept it. Let's go deeper still. We let them dream for everyone. These billionaires don't just innovate, they envision futures and then build them. Rockets, digital universes, new economies, new realities. But here's the danger. We didn't ask them to. We didn't choose their dreams. They just had the money and started building. Now we're inside the world they imagined. We're all passengers on a ship they're steering. And the question is, are we okay with that? Final thought. Not every billionaire leaves a mark. Some vanish, others echo. This isn't a list of the richest, it's a list of the most impactful. The ones who don't just make money, they make meaning, they shape reality, they bend the future. So when history looks back, who will still be remembered? Who will have shaped the architecture of tomorrow? And who will fade despite all the zeros? That choice isn't just theirs anymore, it's yours. Because awareness is the first step toward taking some of that power back.